Hey, good morning, friends. Welcome to The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben, and thank you for joining us. 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side today and every day. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we can help you do that. 844-236-6010 is our number. Kevin Bailey will be with us at the bottom of the hour. Kevin is a strength and conditioning coach. He's a medical exercise specialist, and he has personally experienced weight loss. 70 pounds he lost, and he is going to talk to us about exercise and COVID, exercise and infection, exercise and a self-image, exercise and loneliness and dependence, and why we need to exercise in the morning, and how you can lose weight with exercise, belly fat, increase lean muscle mass. Kevin Bailey will be with us at the bottom of the hour. And we'll get your calls next segment, 844-236-6010. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we're here for you. If you want to purchase longevity products, go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can purchase longevity products off the website. You can also sign up to join the Brightside Ben team for a one-time $30 fee. You can be in business for yourself. Click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And you can also call 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470 for more information. Or if you want to speak to a real live person to order products, 866-735-2470. All right, we have been talking about the invisible nature of health, the invisible nature of nutrition, the stuff you don't see. We've been talking specifically about fats and water, fat-soluble nutritional supplements, or fat-soluble nutrients, we'll say, and water-soluble nutrients. The fat-soluble nutrients are the most interesting ones, I think, personally, especially being in the skincare world, in the skincare business. Skin is a fatty organ, like the brain is a fatty organ, and like the heart is a fatty organ. The heart, the brain, and the skin are three, and maybe even let's just say the heart, the brain, and the skin. You could include the prostate and the female reproductive system in there as well. But let's just say the heart, the brain, and the skin, and when I talk about the brain, I'm talking about the entire nervous system, is very dependent on fat, specifically on essential fatty acids. Essential fatty acids are just fats that are essential. Most of the time when we think about fats, when we think about essentiality, we don't think about fatty acids. We think about vitamins maybe, we think about minerals maybe, but there's two fatty acids, two fats. They're acidic, so we call them fatty acids, but just think of them as fats. There's two fats that are like vitamins. They're vitamin fats. In the sense that they're essential, without them you're dead. And even worse, they're very hard to come by. Vitamins are much easier to come by than essential fatty acids, and to this day, I still talk to people who know about supplementation and will supplement with Beyond Tangy Tangerine and will get on a good nutritional supplement program that doesn't include essential fatty acids. Essential fatty acids need to be regarded with the same kind of gravitas, the same kind of seriousness, the same kind of importance as vitamins and minerals. They're essential. They're fats that are essential. It's omega-6 and omega-3. And pay no attention to those who supposedly understand nutrition who tell you not to worry about omega-6s. I have a book here I've been reading called Omega-6, The Devil's Fat. And it's all about how dangerous omega-6s are because we get so many more omega-6 oils. The standard American diet contains so many more omega-6 rich oils than omega-3 rich oils. On the cover, the scary cover, Omega-6, The Devil's Fat, by a guy named Robert Brown. He says, we get 65 times more omega-6s than omega-3s, and it's associated with asthma. We get 69 times more omega-6s than omega-3s, and it's associated with diabetes. What these nutritionists who tell you about the problem with omega-6 oils miss is the fact that, yeah, we may be getting soy oil and corn oil and safflower oil and sunflower oil. We may be getting the oils and ingesting the oils that contain these omega-6 fats, but we're cooking with them. We're processing them. We're enjoying them after high heat, which means the omega-6s are destroyed. That means you're not going to be getting the omega-6s even if you're eating the omega-6 rich oils. Not only that, but you do need more omega-6s than omega-3s. Omega-6s, most of the essential fatty acids in the body are omega-6s. The skin is really dependent on omega-6s. Omega-3s are important. Yes, that's true. Omega-3 fatty acids, which are really hard to come by. Essential fatty acids in general are hard to come by, but omega-3s are really hard to come by. You're only going to find those in seeds, basically. And I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again here. DHA and EPA, the omega-3 fats that are found in fish oil, are not essential. I'm not saying the fish oil is not important and helpful, and it is, and I believe it is. There's a guy named Brian Peskin. You may have heard of him. He's an engineer. He's not a chemist. He's an engineer. He's a smart guy, and I've been reading his books for almost 25 years now. He says don't even bother with fish oil. He tells you not to use fish oil. In fact, he actually says fish oil can be dangerous. I'm not buying it. Number one, because I understand the chemistry of it, but number two, because I've seen with my own eyes what cod liver oil specifically. And by the way, if you're going to use fish oil, use cod liver oil. Fish oil can be problematic in the sense that fish are problematic, unfortunately. Cod and fish that are farmed in the northern Atlantic tend to be cleaner than other fish. Nordic Naturals is a good brand for fish oil, one I like. Anyway, these fish oil, or cod liver oil, we'll say, I have seen incredible benefits for the skin, especially for psoriasis and eczema, with my own eyes. So in addition to the fact that omega-3s and omega-6s are very important for the eyes and for the nervous system, they're also very important for skin diseases. Nonetheless, they're not essential. That doesn't mean they're not important. Important, yes. Essential mean you have to have, no, because the body can make DHA and EPA. But the parent essential oil, Brian Peskin calls them PEOs, the parent essential oil, that is technically alpha-linolenic acid, ALA. We just generically call it omega-3. That is really important, super important, and you need it, absolutely. And moms who are developing babies or growing babies, gestating babies, moms who are pregnant, would do their kids, they would do their kids a major, major favor by supplementing with DHA, EPA, and alpha-linolenic acid while they're pregnant. DHA and EPA and alpha-linolenic acid. Omega-6s, nonetheless, they rule the roost when it comes to essential fatty acids. And don't be deceived by the fact that you're eating a lot of corn oil or safflower or sunflower oil. That's not how to get your omega-6s. You got to supplement with them. Ultimate EFAs, Ultimate EFA Plus, and of course, as most of you guys know, I am a big fan of Udo Erasmus, who has a product. He sold the company, he sold his formula, but his product was called Udo's Blend, high lignin Udo's Blend. We're going to talk about lignins, Lignins, on a coming Brightside episode. And by the way, if you really want to learn about fats, get a book called Fats That Heal, Fats That Kill. It's by Udo Erasmus, and it is the absolute finest book for the layperson on fats. It is the go-to Bible for the layperson on fats and essential fatty acids. Fats That Heal, Fats That Kill, Dr. Udo Erasmus. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're coming back with your phone calls on the Bright Side right after this. Okay, we're back on the Bright Side. Kevin Bailey coming up next segment. Strength and conditioning coach, medical exercise specialist, and post-rehabilitation specialist. We're going to talk about exercise and infections, we'll just say. I don't like using that other word. We'll say exercise and infections. Kevin says that exercise can help with chronic diseases, heart disease, diabetes. It can improve your health no matter what your chronic disease is, and of course you can lose weight. We'll talk to strength and conditioning coach Kevin Bailey in our next segment. We'll get your calls here momentarily. A couple things I wanted to say here. 844-236-6010 is our number. We got a bunch of calls to get to, so I'm just going to be brief. I wanted to talk about maskne. Have you heard about maskne? That's kind of the latest dermatological buzzword. Maskne is acne. It's related to the mask, to mask wear. I'm going to talk about that. I'll talk about that maybe tomorrow or the next day. I'm going to talk about acne in general. Acne is a very troubling skin condition, as almost everybody knows. Almost everybody's going to deal, and in our culture, almost everybody's going to deal with it. In indigenous cultures, according to Dr. Weston Price, who wrote a wonderful book called Diet and Nutritional Disease. Actually, you know what? I don't even know the name of the book. It's a classic, though. It's called by Dr. Weston Price, who went to New Guinea and studied indigenous population. And he noticed that they didn't have acne, and they didn't have heart disease, and they didn't have weight problems, and they lived to be 80 and 90 and 100 years old with six-pack abs and with well-defined biceps. He was actually a dentist, and he was studying their teeth, and he noticed they didn't have cavities. So one of the things that got my attention when I read his book, I forgot the darn name of it, but it's a classic. What caught my attention was that they didn't have skin problems, and they especially didn't have acne. In this culture, 60 to 70% of everybody's going to have some acne at some time in their lives. Well, there's a new kind of acne out that's related to the mask. They're related to mask wearing. It's called maskne. And I've been getting all kinds of notes about masking. My Truth Omega-6 healing cream, by the way, works for soothing and healing, accelerating the healing, and even preventing maskne. Truth Omega-6 healing cream is a really, really incredible healing product, as anybody who's used it can tell you. But it also has anti-maskne. By the way, maskne is called acne mechanica, technically. Anti-maskne or anti-acne mechanica benefits. We will continue talking about lipids, fats, the invisible or the implicate, the invisible world that leads to the visible world, the implicate world that leads to the explicate world, in the words of David Bohm, Nobel Prize winning physicist. On our next Bright Side episode, let's hit the phones and talk to Elaine from Alaska. What's going on, Elaine? Nice to talk to you.
Hey, good morning. Hey, good talking to you, too. And I did want to mention that the Omega-6 healing cream for me, because of my lupus, I got that horrible butterfly rash from the
Does it help with that?
And yeah, it seemed to take about a month for these hot, painful blisters to go away. But your cream, wow, it would just really soothe the blisters and calm down. And it hasn't come back yet because I refuse to wear a mask. So
you're not wearing a mask out there in Alaska? What is the mask status in Alaska? You're in Anchorage, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like in the municipality of Anchorage, there's this terrible virus and everybody must wear a mask. But you cross the border into Wasilla, nobody's wearing a mask.
It's only in Anchorage?
Just in Anchorage, not in Wasilla, because the virus doesn't go to Wasilla.
Yeah, I know. That's right. It stops at the border.
Yeah. And then school. So I'm calling about schools because the way they're doing school, my daughter is in high school chemistry. Everything's on Zoom. They compressed a semester into a quarter. They can't do labs, so she's very uninspired. So I'm calling today to see if you have any inspiration books or websites that are biochemistry.
Did I ever tell you? I don't know if I ever told you my chemistry story, how I failed chemistry, organic chemistry.
No.
Did I ever talk about that story? I had a real interesting story. You know, I am a very good chemist. And being a good chemist means you can do herbs, you can do medicine, you can do nutrition, you could do exercise physiology, biochemistry. There's so many different things you could do. Cooking, if you understand chemistry. Because chemistry, Elaine, is just how things go together. You and I talking right now, you know what that's called? Chemistry. Do you ever hear somebody say, oh, we have good chemistry, or we have bad chemistry? Meaning you don't go together well. Chemistry is just how things go together, period. Now, it turns out that chemistry, what we talk about, most people think about chemistry, that is chemicals, is just shapes, how shapes go together. You just have to understand Tinker Toy shapes. That's why I'm always talking about Tinker Toys. Although these days I found out that kids don't play with Tinker Toys anymore. So now young people look at me like I'm crazy. What the heck's a Tinker Toy? But you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
That's all chemistry is. It's just Tinker Toys. And if you get people to understand shapes, not everybody can see shapes or picture shapes, but if you try to study chemistry without understanding shapes, if you try to study it like you're studying history or sociology or mathematics or anything else, you're not going to really get it, and it's going to be very difficult. That was the epiphany I had when I became a chemist. And I don't have time to tell the whole story, but I will tell you that I didn't know what the heck was going on in chemistry for 3 semesters. Yeah. I somehow skated by with the first 2, and then when it came to organic, I literally had the lowest grade in the class every single test, like 10 out of 100 and 14 out of 100, and I had to drop it. And it was a very traumatic experience having to drop it because I always thought of myself as being really bright. But then when I came back and got that idea that it was all shapes, I became a chemist instantly, like you turn on a switch. And from that moment on, and that's how you have to look at it. Lynn, I want to get a couple more calls in.
Okay.
Does that help you? Does that help, though?
Yeah.
I hope it helps.
Any books that inspired you or websites?
No, I just read textbooks. So that's not very inspiring. Okay. But these days there's a lot. Just go to go to that Barnes and Noble in Anchorage if it's still open. Okay. I assume it's still open, and just kind of browse the high school chemistry or chemistry section, and you'll see good books for kids get a book for kids. Thanks, Elaine. Okay. Take care. Have a beautiful day. All right. Let's go to my friend the Truth Raider, who I always forget to. Or I always somehow I don't get a chance to talk to you, Truth Raider. What's going on, buddy?
Greetings, Ben.
What's going on?
I had a vice president there that lived in Anchorage, Alaska, who got very upset with me for exposing and saying this thing is all exaggerated. It's a fraud.
What thing are you talking about?
This whole thing. So
this whole thing. We'll just call it this whole thing. We don't want to get censored. I know what you're talking about. This whole thing. So what did he say? What did he say? Tell that to the 200,000 people who died. Blah, blah, blah. Right. That's what I hear all the time.
Yeah.
Did you see my... Listen, Carl, I want you to say something real quick. On my Facebook page today, on the Bright Side... By the way, I haven't been plugging my Facebook page. The Bright Side with Pharmacist Ben. All my moments of truth are up there. And then when I find something interesting, I post it. Today I posted a really important video that everybody should listen to. It's 49 minutes, but even if you don't want to listen to the whole 49 minutes, just listen to 3 minutes in the middle. I think it's 23 to 26. But just go to my Facebook page and check it out. It's very instructive. What did your friend say or this guy say?
Well, this is the vice president of our tennis association as far as our group that we have, our little...
Can you get him on the radio? Would he come on the radio with you? With me? Can you?
I don't know if he would. I have to email him. He's a nice guy, but he said his friends, family, the other people he knew, very close friends, almost died. So I
want you, Carl the Truth Raider, and everybody listening, if anybody knows anybody who wants to come on the radio and discuss this intelligently, I am looking for somebody. I can't find anybody who wants to come on the radio. They all have opinions, but nobody wants to discuss this intelligently. If you know anybody, Carl, or anybody out there, please send them to ben@ksco.com or send a note to ben@ksco.com with their number. Carl, got to go, my friend. I hope. I'm sorry you didn't get a chance to say what you want to say, but it's always nice to hear from you. Thanks so much. We got Kevin Bailey coming up next segment. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben, and thanks for joining us. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific, and 10 to 11 Central Time, and 24/7 on the archive pages at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. We've also got news stories, blog posts, all kinds of good health information on our websites. And, of course, you will also find the longevity products and a Join the Team Now link that you can click on if you want to sign up to join the Brightside Ben team for a one-time $30 fee. You can be in business for yourself and help spread the word about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program, something I have been talking about for decades. The importance of nutritional supplementation as well as exercise, and that's what we're going to talk about here with our friend, hopefully my friend, Kevin Bailey, strength and conditioning coach, medical exercise specialist, post-rehabilitation specialist, as well as a personal experiencer of the power of exercise. He lost 70 pounds himself. He's going to talk to us about losing belly fat, increasing lean muscle tissue, and how to eat smart without being hungry. We'll talk to Kevin Bailey also a little bit about the infection and what we can do about that. Please welcome to the Bright Side, Kevin Bailey. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, how's it going, Ben?
Nice to talk to you. Good. I'm really excited about this whole strength and conditioning aspect. What do you think about, there's this, seems to be some controversy about the idea of exercise really being able to help you lose weight. Some people say, no, you got to do a lot more than exercise. I noticed that you lost 70 pounds. Tell us a little bit about weight loss and exercise, and tell us a little bit about how you lost 70 pounds.
Okay, well, yeah, there is some controversy, which, things always come up in cycles, controversy between, how much exercise do you actually need to do, and does it really help with the weight loss? To answer that question, and from personal experience, weight loss, you do need to move those muscles. Lean muscle tissue is very, very, very important. One of the biggest things that it does when you're doing your strength or resistance training is it increases your lean muscle tissue. When your lean muscle tissue is increased, your basal metabolic rate. So that's the amount of calories that you burn even while we're sitting here talking to each other while you're standing going through your everyday life is increased as well. So when that rate is up, that's going to help you to burn calories throughout the day. And the more muscle or lean muscle tissue that you have, the higher that rate will be. Now, sometimes people, and especially some people who say, well, I don't want to be a big bodybuilder. I don't want to be this big, all these muscles. And it's not that. It's increasing what you already have, your lean muscle tissue. Everybody has muscles. Muscles were made to move. Joints were made to bend. So once you do that and increase it, substantially, or even just a little bit, it's going to increase that basal metabolic rate as well and help you to burn those calories. And sometimes it will even help your basal metabolic rate or your metabolism to increase to a point where, let's say you have one of those slippage meals, a little bit more of something that you weren't supposed to eat. Yeah, exactly. Then it will also help to burn that off as well. So, not to go throw yourself over and eat everything, all the cakes and the ice cream and things. But if you have that little cheap meal, it won't throw you off as much as, it would if you didn't have that lean muscle tissue.
What's a good tip for preventing the urge to cheat or to cheat less? Are there any good nutritional or exercise tips that you know of?
Okay, so one of the things that you want to do to cheat less, I would say, is first of all, go ahead and establish what you are going to do as far as your cheat, quote-unquote, cheat meal, and allow yourselves to have that bit. So, for instance, one of the things I used to do is I would say, okay, on my birthday or Father's Day, I knew that I wanted chocolate Godiva cheesecake. And so I would go ahead and I would do everything I need to do because I love that cheesecake.
That's pretty intense, Kevin. I don't know. That's pretty intense. Chocolate. What did you say? Chocolate cheesecake? Is it chocolate? Oh my goodness.
Triple chocolate.
Triple chocolate. Oh my God.
Cheesecake. There's something serious.
That's extreme, Kevin. That's a little extreme. I don't know, man. All right, go ahead, though.
But I would give myself that just once, like a year or something along those lines. But I would go ahead and plan myself and say, okay, well, this is going to be my one little moment. I'll have that, and then I'm done. And instead of, years before I made that transformation, my wife would buy the cake. And so, I would eat the cake, 2 or 3, 4 slices. And so I was like, okay, I can't have it in the house. So, Keisha, that's my wife's name, just let's get a piece for everyone. So one piece is 3 of us. I have a son named KJ. Our 3, and once I'm done, I'm done. So
and you make a ritual. You make a ritual out of it, or like a celebration out of it.
Yeah, a little celebration, and then that's it. And then I'm going on to the next, to back what I was doing. Another tip I would give people: if you have those cravings throughout the day or day to day and things of that nature, what you can do is you need to supplement your meals with some type of healthy fat, monounsaturated fats like almonds. Almonds is something I would eat and to knock those cravings off, because that fat's going to satiate you for a longer period of time. So if you eat that, fat. Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
If you eat that, it's a healthy fat. It's going to satiate your appetite, and then you wait and just see. Eat some almonds, not a whole lot, just enough. Just sliced plain almonds, not the salty or sugary or the barbecue or the honey. Not those. Just plain sliced, diced, plain almonds. Absolutely, so, that would knock it off.
Gotcha. For your snacking urge, to get the kind of snacking thing out of the way. Yeah, that's good. I like that. I like that. I could tell why you're a strength and conditioning coach. I feel like working out, just hearing you talk makes me feel like I want to go exercise. So that's good. Tell me about loneliness and dependence and what that's got to do with being strong or losing weight or somehow being in condition.
I'm sorry. Repeat that again.
Tell me about loneliness and dependence. I'm looking on your blurb here. It says loneliness and dependence. You got me intrigued.
Yeah. So again, with depression, with loneliness, and especially, goodness gracious, around this pandemic time. People being isolated, so they're feeling lonely, they're feeling depressed, things of that nature. Exercise is going to become a key component to changing your state of being, meaning that once you get the blood circulating, you go and you decide, okay, I'm going to work out, and start lifting, you start doing your cardiovascular activities, things of that nature, your blood starts circulating, your hormones start increasing, serotonin levels start increasing, all those things that make you feel better. Also, also cardiovascular activities increases your learning, which is called your brain-derived neurotrophic factors. So more synapses have an opportunity to connect in your brain, which means you're going to learn more efficiently just by exercise. So if you can change from a depressed state, get your body moving, get those hormones working, you're going to be able to think more clearly and feel better, especially during this time when we're disconnected from one another.
Yeah, it's kind of like a car when it has to be run. If you leave your car not running, the battery dies. You got to run your car a little bit. You got to run the electricity a little bit. That's good. Now, also, when you talk about loneliness, how does that fit into the equation?
Okay, so loneliness is when you're feeling like no one cares about you, and you feel like you're all alone. You feel like you're isolated. When you experience those things, what you can do is if you start changing, again, your mindset and your brain starts to think differently, then you're able to connect and say, okay, well, maybe things are not all bad. Maybe
hey, Kevin, hang on to that thought, Kevin. Hang on to that thought. We got to take a commercial break. We got Kevin Bailey, strength and conditioning coach, medical exercise specialist. You're listening to The Bright Side. More with Kevin Bailey right after this. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side talking to Kevin Bailey, strength and conditioning coach, medical exercise specialist. His Instagram page is Kevin Bailey 9402, I believe. Is that right, Kevin? Kevin Bailey 94, and that's a Bailey. All right, so before we went to break, we were talking about loneliness and depression, and that kind of gets me into this idea of there's more to being physically healthy than taking care of your physical body. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's other aspects of play. So you have this thing called Find Your Why. Tell us about that, what that means exactly.
So find your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why do you want to get in better shape? What is your motive? And so what is that thing that will propel you to keep going when the honeymoon's over, is like what I like to call it. I mean by that, when you first start an exercise program or a diet or whatever the case may be, in the beginning it's exciting, it's new, it's something different. You see yourself that slimmer, leaner person. And when you start taking those steps, after the first week or second week, and the newness wears off. It's like the honeymoon phase is over. Now we got to work this marriage, baby. So now, once you get into that, when you don't feel like getting up in the morning because you're fatigued, what is that thing that's going to push you out of the bed? What is that thing that's going to keep you moving forward to reach your goal? What is going to get you past your feelings? How can I be greater than how I feel right now so that I can reach my goal? And that is your why. So you got to find something that's deep within yourself that really gets your urge and gets yourself motivated. Something that has to be bigger than you sometimes as well. A lot of times when I ask people that, what is your why, I look for them to go deep. Well, I just want to get in shape. I just want to be better. And it's like, okay, but why? But why? What is it? And so then they'll start talking about, well, I have kids, and I want to be around for my children. I have a mother that I see the way that she aged, and I don't want to age that way. I want to be there for my kids and see my kids' kids. So I need to do everything in my power to get to that point. That is your why. My why is my son. I have a 17-year-old right now, and my mother passed away from diabetes at the age of 56 years old.
Oh, my goodness.
And so my son was only 3, and so my why came out of, I want to be here, do everything I can possibly do to be here for him so that he can ask me for advice on how to be married and what should I do about school and things of that nature. I want to be that father for him. So that is my why. That gets me out of bed when I want to roll over to the warm side of the bed and sleep a little longer. So that is what propels you. What is your why? It's deep within you. It's bigger than you sometimes, and it's something that will get you motivated to rock and roll and move and groove and shaking the bacon to get you to that point.
I love it. Your why is your alarm clock. If you can't get out of bed, you don't have a why. You don't have an alarm clock. Do you think?
There you go.
Absolutely. First thing in the morning when you wake up, when your eyes open, you should find your why. That's awesome. That's awesome advice, Kevin. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So how about this idea about purpose?
Yes. So purpose, I think my belief is everyone was put here for a reason. You were created to do something, to fulfill something. And so you're given gifts, talents, skills, even some inborn things that you have, some desires, some things you naturally like to do, that was placed on the inside of you, not just for your own benefit, but also to help to benefit someone else. Sometimes we go through struggles and things, and then we come out of those struggles, and then we find, hey, I went through this, overcame it. Now let me help someone else do that who may be lost, who can't find their way. So your purpose, what were you designed to do? And you find those things through your desires and things you like to do, and sometimes through things you go through, but also just you have that innate propulsion to certain things. Like, for instance, I've always liked to be outside. I've always loved to move around, and I always loved helping people.
I can tell.
And I've always loved helping people.
You're probably walking around now when you're talking to me, I bet. I'll bet you're moving around. I knew.
I am.
I knew it.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I am. I sure am. I'm walking around.
Yeah, I knew it. I could tell.
That's the thing. You realize that you have a purpose for something. I used to think that I wanted to do things in computers and sit down at a desk job and work behind a computer desk. But then I realized I like to move around too much. I like to talk with people one-on-one. I'd rather do that than be in front of a computer screen. Some people would like to be in front of a computer screen.
Sure.
But what is that thing on the inside of you that comes naturally to you that you don't have to think about doing? There's something to that. So kind of follow that clue and then see where it takes you, where it leads. Take a step towards that, your purpose. What were you placed on this earth for? And I think you have that purpose, and then it may evolve into other bigger things, but that's something that will drive you for the rest of your life.
Do you think people's angst is caused by putting a square peg in a round hole? In other words, they're doing something that's not their purpose. They're trying to get a square peg into a round purpose kind of thing?
I think so. Yes, I think that can attribute to it because of the fact that you're trying to make this happen, and it's not even natural to you. And sometimes you don't even like it. You don't even like the career, but people said this is where all the money is going to be at, or this is where all the opportunity will be. This is what you need to do. In my own life, again, with the computer thing, everyone told me from ninth grade that, hey, computers are the next best thing. You need to be a computer engineer. Engineering is going to have all the opportunities. And I started going down that path, not realizing that I like computers, but I don't have that passion for computers or for technology. I'll use it, and it's used as a tool, but my passion was somewhere else. My passion was helping people. My passion was trying to inspire people to a greater effort or enthusiasm or creativity, to awaken that within somebody, to help breathe life into people, to help them to be more than they can ever thought they could be, and to help them to get over whatever ailments or whatever things were holding them down, to help them to be empowered. So
you would have been wasting. You would have been wasting your skill set if you tried to do another purpose.
Right.
If you exactly. You had this this gift to bring to the world, and you'd be wasting it. Everybody has a gift, don't you think? Whatever that purpose is, that's our gift that we're here to bring to the world. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And that gift is to share. Yeah, so
that's
you
right.
share that gift with others. Absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
right. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. All right. So practically speaking here. Belly fat. Nobody wants to be fat. We all know it's bad for us. But belly fat, that's the worst right there. Don't you think?
Yeah.
And that also is a metabolic issue. It's a health issue. It's not just unattractive. There's also biochemistry that's involved. So give us some ways to lose belly fat.
So one of the ways I recommend, and what I've seen for my own self, is if you can get yourself out of a glucose-dependent cycle, where you're taking in carbs, high carbs, things of that nature, and it's increasing your blood sugar levels, which increases your insulin levels, which then, once you store it up, into your muscle glycogen, and once your liver is stored, then it gets stored. The remaining of that gets stored as fat, and a lot of times it gets stored in that place that you say called your belly fat. So what you can do practically is get yourself over to where you're burning fat, to where you can you become that fat burning machine. Strength training, practically one of those things that help, again, increase the lean muscle tissue, and it helps you to burn that fat, makes you insulin sensitive, and get you into that place of being. Next thing what I did for myself is I went low carb and went into a keto type state.
Ketogenic diet, probably. Yeah, that's good.
So,
that helped you. Is that how you lost your 70 pounds? Was ketogenic diet?
Yeah, that helped between low carb and going between those two. Yes, because I had to cut out all the stuff, the crap, all the high carbohydrate thing, all the simple sugars, and really focus on, more, taking in more fat, because I needed something to satiate me. I didn't want to be hungry all the time.
What kind of fat? You didn't eat? It wasn't cheesecake fat. It was
no.
What was
we
it?
talked about before, those almonds.
Almonds, okay.
Macadamia nuts.
Nuts.
Guacamole. Things of that nature. Some saturated fats. I eat the eggs. Eggs.
How many eggs? How many eggs would you eat? A lot?
Not a lot. Not a lot, but maybe 3, somewhere around there.
Okay, gotcha. You're not like Dr. Wallach, who we talk about all the time, probably eats a dozen a day.
No, that's too many. That would be too many for me.
Okay, all right. Eggs are amazing food. Eggs are amazing, though. That's an amazing food. That's God's. That's one of the greatest gifts God put on the planet, was the gift of eggs, I think, for health. I think it's the most amazing food. And it always bugs me when I hear people ripping on the poor little egg with all that love that it gives us. Hey, Kevin, we're out of time, buddy. That was very invigorating. I feel really invigorated, man. You are a great exercise coach, or strength, motivational coach, we'll say. Thanks so much, Kevin.
Thank you for having me. Have a great
day. Give your Instagram site out. I don't have it in front of me here. Real quick.
It's Kevin Bailey, and that's 9402. Kevin Bailey 9402. Have an amazing one. Thank you.
All right. Take care, Kevin. Have a great day. Kevin Bailey, strength and conditioning coach. And that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.